What's up there? It's Popping 10. Okay, so let's get to talking. I got a lot of talking to do. This eclipse flows in my third house. I'm going to do a lot of talking and a lot of people which I had to close some cases. They too are getting drugged. Let's go. Let's get it on. So what we doing? What we doing? I'm just so happy I got to speak here. I had like a week to do that. So, no, close to a week though. Happy to be here. I don't know if you can see my little decoration for autumn, my favorite season, because I'm such a Halloween girl. So, let's get. Oh my god. This is a deja vu. I have seen myself again speaking to the camera around this season. I've been getting a lot of deja vus lately, but anyways, it's not a subject in the topic that we need to speak. And when I said I get a lot of deja vus lately, 111 on my clock in the camera. Okay, I wanted to put on my glasses because I look like Harry Potter and just a little whimsy, like a little more autumn y. So let's get it. I just want to talk a little bit about friendships and generally when women are so centered around men and what happens when we have friends that are centered around men. I feel like I had to do that for so long this video because I had friends like that and I got back to with an old friend and she is a lot like that and yeah, it's an honor for me. And I'm not the type of person to actually judge and pick a side, but I feel like we all have personal preferences. I said in another video of mine, I really believe that friendships are the most important. And I get to see that because astrologically, I have my sun in the 11th house. Community and friendships are really important for me. They have always been really important. And even though they were really, really important for me, I didn't have to really have um, to be really blissful in those areas, right? Not that I didn't have some good people, but I had some really tough and bad experiences around friendships. And I mean, it makes sense. A lot of trauma comes from there. I am Scorpio sun, so yeah, and it has always been a problem that there's a lot of jealousy, because we tend to understand how an area of your life, which are the houses in the chart, and then we tend to analyze how it's going to be, what the type of energy this area of life is going to have, based on the sun that rules this house. And if I have my sun in Scorpio in the 11th house, that means that maybe my friendships I have, like it's going to surrounded by a lot of Scorpio energy, power dynamics, shadows, trauma, but also something really powerful, deep, and intimate. I'm coming. Got interrupted. So I was saying that, yeah, as a Scorpio sun in my 11th house, I I tend to have, like there's a lot of this concept of friendships is really around this Scorpionic energy, which every energy and every symbol, because astrology is just really symbolic, right? Do not take everything so seriously. Take it symbolically for me. At least that's what has been working for me instead of just being so religiously, um, making sense out of everything. Um, so yeah, that's how you know um, everything has its opposite. Not everything has its negative, and everything has its positive, right? um, Even dark signs and even dark houses. every single thing in life has a positive, a negative, a pro and a con, always. Um, so for me, what I want to say is that because my son falls in the 11th house, I tend to give more meaning, and it's more vital for me because our son is the vital point to my friendships. I tend to really put my friendships so above everything else because I really believe, like, even in romantic relationships, you have to have friendship. If you're not friends with your partner, it's not truly stable, it's not truly real, it's not going to last. Okay? The person you going to have, like, beside you needs to be a person that gets to know you, and friends get to know you deep. They get to be with you through thick and thin. At least that's my opinion. I'm a ride or die type of friend. I mean, I'm Scorpio, I'm Mars worldwide. Like, if you mess with my people, I'm gonna mess with you, but only with the ones that actually deserve. Because there are just some people that'll never do that for you. So no need to even have them friends, in my opinion. Okay, so let's get back to male-centered women. Okay, so if you have a friendship with a woman that has men so centered in her life, you are never going to be um a priority. Like, her man is going to be, or her boyfriend is going to be. Like, no. And the bad thing is, if you are have the centered man, have done some of the work, of inner misogyny, inner patriarchy, and generally, like, all inner things that are in our society, chances are you won't get along with people who center men that good, right? And that is because our sisterhood has been stolen because we had centered men for centuries. We put them into our businesses, or they put themselves into our businesses, and here we are. And betraying one another. And I never truly understand that. Like, pick me, which there's no problem. Some people have learned to be pygmies, and no problem with that. We're human. We're not perfect. All I'm saying is, if you are going to throw a fit and do some crazy wild shit to get attention from a man that really never truly like you, or they don't like you like you think they do, that's just no for me. I had friends who were competing with me for regular degular dudes, and even if they weren't regular degular, they were just dudes. Like, get over it, right? I don't find that a good enough reason to ever fight with a friend. So women who have center men around them, they're never going to put you as a priority. They don't think you're that important, um, to message you like that, to call you like that, to put you into their lives like that. They will forever put their man or boyfriend in like the first category, right? And in my opinion, I don't think that's right. Um, I feel like everyone should supposed to be a priority. If everybody you love are in the room, I don't think some people need to have different treatment than some others. Like, if we are at the table and I love every person at the table, every person gets their special treatment. There's no, like, like, pick this one person or the other person. And yeah, yesterday I had this one little um conversation, let's just say, through text that wasn't even completed. And I was speaking with this old friend. Um, and she was telling me, like, yes, of course I'm going to put my boyfriend as a priority, because, like, I know him for 4 years, we're together 4 years. Girl, does not matter to me. That is not a reason you should stand with a person just because you know them for so long. You know, a reason to stay with a person and really like prioritize a person is because you love them. That's just simple. And and generally, you know, I was speaking with this girl and it's like I have no chance of ever being a priority because, you know, she's so male centered. She's just so like clinky. And there's nothing wrong with being clinky, but to a point that you base your whole life on man's preferences, on man's ideas, man's thoughts and point of views, that's so toxic for you after a little while. No man should ever rule your world or anything like it. And guess what? Another woman who had problem with her self-esteem. I wonder why that is. You know, all the women that I've seen in the last month that I've heard that either they wanted to do something surgical or they're going to do is because they're centered around men. I've never known a woman that was centered around women or herself ever want to do anything surgical or change herself in any way. That is straight up patriarchal shit. Like, don't get me wrong, okay? Um, but yeah, it's going to be a priority and you're not going to be a priority. And it's not just that, it's just, as I said, it's the opinions people have when they center men. You're going to hear them having such a low self-esteem. They may look like the most beautiful creature in the world. They may take care of their bodies and everything else, but what they think about themselves is they're not good enough, they're not beautiful enough, they're never just enough, right? And does that remind you anything? Because in this patriarchal society, nothing is ever enough. You need more and more and more and more titles, more money, more property, more this, more that. You are never enough, and a woman is never enough in this society. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter if she's the most richest, if she's the most well-worked person, if she's the most genius, if she is, I don't know, like the richest or the most famous or the most beautiful. You know, a man's going to get up in her ass and say something, you know, that is not enough, you know, and society in a misogynistic way is going to judge that and is going to judge her in a way, you know, she's not enough. Something she done something wrong. She's not enough. Suddenly. So yeah, second is, as I said, you know, these people who center men have this weird opinions and they have internalized misogyny and so many other things, such as daddy issues and mother wounds, right? Um, and yeah, and I would say they're brainwashed. You know, it's not just their thoughts, it's not just their substance. They're just so brainwashed to believe that's true, and they blindly follow it. And most of the times, at least the third thing, these people do not know what to say, and like political conversation, environmental conversations, spiritual conversations, everyday life conversations. They don't know what to say. They don't have those true big goals. Not all of them, but most of these people will be having some crazy wild shit thoughts that just center around their boyfriend or their man. Not all of them, but a lot of them. So yeah, that's how it is, and why it is bad because if you have done your own thing, I mean, I'm going to speak for me, right? Like, I grew up having a lot of daddy issues. I grew up being attracted to the worst type of people and men. I also had mommy issues, you know, um, father and mother ones. I'm laughing. Sometimes you need to laugh, you know, at those things. It's okay, you know, just to switch it a little bit energetically. Um, but yeah, so I know how it is to be attracted around men and how it is to be centered around men. You know, to put them as your having a man, you know, in your head all the time when you dance in your bedroom alone, when you pick up what you're going to wear, what you're going to say, how you're going to show up, how you're going to feel, you know, how you're going to think, like so centered around what men would think, what men would like, what men would feel, what this and that, and it just, you know, and I had to go through my own heartbreak in some ways to realize that, you know, and I did my own work around the subject a lot, and I finally to a point to say like I'll never ever center a man like that ever again in my life, and that when I centered um, me and generally like my feminine energy, I became happier. I became more stable, more grounded. I allowed myself to be myself, you know, and I didn't get that back then. Like I gained weight, and I was like, you know, I was struggling around a lot my body image, my self image, you know, and I thought I was not worthy because it's like if the boys that used to like me back then in high school would see me right now, they would be so gross. And I know something's wrong with this thought, right? But you know, I felt it all in. I had to do it. I had to do the feeling work, right? You have to feel it, heal it, baby. So, yeah, I had this whole thing happening, and now I'm like, you know what? I don't care, cause I look myself in the mirror, and I'm a bad bitch, cause I said so, and no man could ever give me any value. I mean, look, the most beautiful, wanted, popular, and girls out there. Most of them have been shit, and that tells you a lot about men. Amen. And I'm not saying that every man is the same, but look at it. You know, look all those beautiful ladies that have been done wrong by men, which you know, most of them were the dream girl, as we would say, right? Um, and they got cheated on, and that shows you so many things. It's bad. It's really bad, and it's really sad. That's why. And I'm not saying that the right man do not exist. All I'm saying is like if you put yourself behind, and if you just um how to say this, if you devaluate yourself, and if you put yourself last, and everybody else, you know, above you, then, you know, whether that is a friend or a relationship or a family person, um, that is going to lead to self-abandoning a lot of times. And you know, one thing that came out yesterday in my meditation is that the the thing about life is not to find you know, like a friendship is not to be in a friendship or any relationship that you're going to self-abandon yourself. You know, the right relationship, whether it's friendship, family, or romantic, is going to make you not leave yourself or abandon yourself in the process. It's going to make you feel welcome. It's never going to put you in any way or any or in, I don't know, in the middle of choosing whether to abandon yourself or to abandon the other person. Like the real relationship will never make you feel like that. The real relationship is going to make you feel uplifted, loved, looked after. It's going to make you feel like you can be yourself. You can speak about yourself. You can move it like yourself. You can feel it yourself, you know? So, yeah, my advice is if, you know, if you have done a lot of work around decentering men and you happen to, you know, like meet up with a person from the past or just a new person that they center men so much around them, my advice is to just be careful, right? And if you feel like your values do not work, because we're human beings, everybody has different values, right? Some are right, some are wrong, okay? But if our values do not match, if I put my friends first and you put your boyfriend first, we are not going to make this work. And this can be the opposite. If I were to put my boyfriend first and my friendships last, and your friendships first and the boyfriend last, then it wouldn't just be like that. And as I said, it's not just about the boyfriend. See, you can have a great friendship with your partner, right? They can be in the friend group and they don't have to make your friends feel uncomfortable, right? But what about when you know that a man is not right for your friend and they're still with them, and you have to pretend you like them? I never do that. I just know, and I never tend to put men so above, no matter what. If any girl had a friendship, I was like, yeah, I was always remind her, like, even if he's your man, I have every right to speak shit, talk shit about him, because if he does something wrong, if he makes you feel like shit and offend you in any way, I have every right to remind you why you need to leave this person. Because nobody deserves a bad treatment. Why that, And this comes from a person that have been mistreated most of my life. But I don't believe in mistreatment, and I will never put another person through that, because I know how shitty that feeling is, Um, and also it's really bad because there was this other friend from the past, past, that she had like a lot of health issues, a lot of issues with herself, a lot of issues with her family dynamics and everything, but she don't want to see that. That's in the fourth house. We don't want to see. We want to be delusioned, right? Um, but it's all about breaking those illusions, and a lot of times we are, our partners in relationships, whether that is friendship or romantic relationships, are going to point us to the roots, which are our family. You can never unsee it. And she had a ton of fucking problems with her health, her mental health, everything. And she was going to tarot readers for a guy that she knew is not going to work. You see what I'm saying? Because a lot of times relationships for people are just a getaway ticket, right? They're just a getaway ticket to forget what they're going through in their family, to bypass and neglect their emotions and what they're going through, the abandonment that they feel from their mother and their father. But no matter if you run and try to bypass, you'll never truly do. Like, it's going to show up in your relationships. Like, those codependency issues that you have, they're going to show up in your relationship. You're going to put everybody else above you and yourself to last. Yeah. And the centering men, and also romantic relationships, and generally any relationship, is all about putting yourself first. And it's not bad to be selfish. Sometimes it's not bad to choose yourself, because you are the only person that you came here on earth, and you're going to leave this earth. So you have a responsibility and a duty towards the person you came here with, which is yourself. You have a duty and a responsibility towards yourself, no matter what, for the rest of your life. So be responsible around yourself. And I mean, we're human beings. We're not going to make it every time right? That's the experience. If you know every single thing that's going to happen to you, you wouldn't just be surprised. And if everything was right, then we wouldn't realize, what matters. We would be in a utopia, which there's nothing wrong, but nothing would really truly grow and matter when everything goes right. Nothing truly grows, nothing truly matters, you know. What matters is what we create through every situation. I've seen this one beautiful post, I think, on Pinterest. There was this artist that said, no, it was Lexi Leo, a really great tarot reader that I really love and really watch. And she just posted that on her Instagram. And she was saying some things about, you know, like, why we're here. What does it matter, right? And what she said is that we put matter to things. We create things because we put matter to them, okay? Nothing truly matters. It's all about the matter we give to things, the matter we give to objects, the matter we give to every single thing in our lives. You know? Like, that's what it is. Okay, example. I'm going to give you a personal example. So in August, terrible things were happening to me. A lot of bad stuff, a lot of hardships, a lot of closing cycles, a lot of things that I needed to close, a lot of things that I need to realize. And a lot of times to realize some things, we go either through a tower or a death moment, and sometimes that is through feeling truly disappointed, truly disturbed, truly sad, truly attacked, you know, on an emotional level, you know. And there are two options: either stay the same and keep the same old pattern and the same old cycles, or change. And change is a death card. Right, as a tower. Change is when you need to leave an identity you had behind you, and that hurts because this identity carried you through till here. So it's so difficult to leave it behind, because it's also the identity everybody has formed around you. So there are a lot of things you need to do, but a lot of stages, right? But yeah, August was really difficult, and I've seen, you know, something about the truth. It can be truly debilitating, it can be truly a nightmare, but it sets you free. Truth sets you free no matter what. It's better to be disappointed than to be in a constant illusion, in a constant lie of the matter. And this comes from a person. I had friendships, I put it so much illusion into them, I just put them so much above me, and I just made them how I wanted to make them. I created them how I wanted to create them, only for me to get hit hard by the truth that it was all my freaking creation. But I'm not talking about this creation. So in August, a lot of weird and wild shit happened, but I had a lot of options, right? I could say I give up, this is too much, I cannot do it. But through it all, I was like, I want to live, I want to live. I was praying because I was like, I don't know what's going to happen, but I really want to live. I really want to live. I have so many things to do. And no matter what, even in my hard days, I kept posting here on YouTube. You know, maybe not those days, but I posted some videos from some really worst days or breakthroughs that I had in August. I kept writing. I kept uploading on Instagram when I could, and Subtrack. And I'm not the best. I'm not perfect. I'm still figuring it out. But you know, every day I was waking up because I was like, my future self has already done it. My future self is successful. You know, when I say successful, my future self has a great nervous system, has a great company around her. My future self has it all, has everything I need, and I'm not going to give up on her. And I kept doing things that I love, from where I could do that, whether that was to shake my ass, take all this drama and drama, whether that is to keep writing and keep writing and just speaking to videos, speaking to cameras, speaking to people, like whether that could be, you know, you create your life and you give it a meaning. And every single thing that happened in August, I was like, you know what? All this is because I need to grow and that matters. And because I also need to be responsible, you know, but it's also about what you can create in this crazy shit that happened. Another personal story, but that is a quick one, okay? Which I kind of told you how it went. I didn't tell you like exactly, but I had my father coming in here, and I've been in all contact with his shitty ass for like a year. But our relationship has always been an on and off. He was always absent from my life, from our life, from my and my sister's life. So he came in because I wanted his help, and I, you know, I started to explain some situations because I needed his help and why, and in which areas I needed his help, and he just didn't want to understand because I was explaining him the problem, but he was in his narcissistic, machiavellistic, or psychopathic mind. And no matter what you say to some people, they will never understand because it's not about fucking logic, you little bitches. It's all about intelligence and empathy. Empathy is the highest intelligence. Water signs are the last signs, are it's like, it's, if you watch it, it's the fourth, like it comes as the fourth element, the last element, right? Fourth house, Cancer. Eighth house, Scorpio. 12th house, Pisces. And that's because the last stage of intelligence and alignment and divine and divinity is emotional intelligence, emotional empathy, emotional language and understanding. Not a lot of people can do that, and that is why they get into so much trouble, including myself. I got into so much trouble because I ignored so many signs, language and emotional signs. You know, I get that in another video about mature vision, but that's on another video. It's for today. So he was in there and he just didn't want to understand, and that was not because he is stupid, but that is not just the logic part, that is an empathy part that he misses in my mother, because both of them belong to the trilogy in psychology, which is the dark trilogy in psychology, right? We're talking about narcissistic people, machiavellistic people, psychopathic people. These are the people that have no empathy. They don't understand. And when we say understand, it's not logic. Emotionally, they don't understand what a person may be going through and what, you know, how they need to act and react. So I was like, I was done. I was like, I don't care. I have nothing to say to you. You don't want to give me your help. I have already told you, you just don't want to listen. And I was about to have a panic attack because in August, whenever someone was getting me to a point of anger, it was triggering my emotional body insanity, and I would go freaking crazy, have a freaking crazy panic attack. And I was about to have a panic attack. I was like, you know, and I told him, get the fuck out of my house. And he didn't listen. And I said, get the fuck out of my house. And he left by saying some dumb shit, which I'm not going to mention. It doesn't matter. And thank God my sister was there, because I needed her most of August. I needed a person to be beside me, because I needed the physical touch to ground me back to earth. And she just hugged me, and she did exactly what I told her to do a week ago, which I had the craziest panic attack. I had a hysteria. I didn't know what that was until I witnessed it, and I pray you never witness that. It's a really bad condition. It's really, really bad, really bad. And sister hugged me, and she said exactly what I told her to say. I want me to stay. You're here, you know. Like she calmed me, she soothed me, and what we created out of this really traumatic and dramatic moment was something that I no longer remember as I don't see it as traumatic or as painful, you know. We were happy, we were cheered because he was out of our lives. We were cheered and we started dancing the Shake It Up by Taylor Swift. To shake the feeling of our bodies, to shake everything that had to do with this man and what he said and what he did, and that is creating something beautiful because we cheered, we congratulated, we were like, you know what, it never truly mattered, he never truly worth it, we're not going to chase him. So out of a bad situation, which is abandonment, it's not self-abandoning yourself in the process, you know. We were happy, we did not self-abandon ourselves in the situation. We created another thing, which is like, you know what, oh, he's gone from our lives, and that's a bad thing. But you know what, no, it's not a terrible thing, because we're more happy and healthy when he's not around. When we do not have him on our lives, we're free, we're better, we're doing better. So it's like, it is what it is, girl, it is what it is. So we changed that terrible situation into a situation that, look, great things are happening for us. He left out of our lives and we witnessed how shitty he was. What a great thing to witness how shitty a person can truly be, and seeing it with your eyes. What a beautiful thing. So that is the creation of life you give, you know. And that is what artists do. We are all artists. We artists, baby, as I would say, right? So every artist create, you know, out of anger, out of sadness, out of something, a great album, a great song, a great piece of art. That's what we do. A great video, a great film, a great book. That's what we do. That's what we're doing here. Out of some wild ass crazy situation. A lot of interruptions today, but you know what? We're still flowing. It's all about flow. Eclipse and Pisces, baby. Let's get it. So, like, even a great, you know, like a great food can soothe a really bad situation that you're going through, you know. You just make something, like you may feeling terrible, but you just make something great. You make a shield for yourself, you make something for yourself. Like, that happens all the time in life. Life is what you create, you know, the meaning you create. Oh, Stacey left you. Maybe that was a blessing. Maybe that was not a curse. Maybe that was not a bad thing occurring. Maybe that was protection, you know. Oh, you didn't get that job. Maybe that job wasn't for you. Maybe that rejection was opening new opportunities, the doors for you to believe more in yourself and value more of yourself, so you open yourself to more opportunities. You know, life can work like that. It's how you really see it. And if you choose to see the beauty in life, life will show you the beauty sooner or later. So that's what I believe. And most of my life, I choose to see the beauty. Not all the time, because I had some real bad days, but through it all, like even at the worst trip that I had in Egypt, I see how many beautiful things it taught me. I'm still integrating a lot of the lessons I learned about my trip in Egypt, which was really traumatic, and I still have some post-traumatic symptoms, but I'm working on them. Maybe all these things are showing me what I need to listen more, how I need to work with myself and my body. Maybe through this whole situation, I'm building something safer. And maybe it feels weird inside right now, but some months from now, or some weeks from now, or a year from now, I'll be seeing that and I'll say it was a blessing in disguise. As I said with my insulin resistance, you know. So everything is a blessing in disguise. It's really about how you see it and how you create it in life. So I guess that's what I'm going to say. I need to close it here, you know. But thank
Thanks for listening.